What's up, Celtics Nation? If you're a Boston fan, you already know the last few days have been an emotional roller coaster. Brad Stevens finally spoke to the media in his end-of-season press conference. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back. This wasn't just some wrap-up interview with the usual cliches and coach speak. No, this was Brad laying it all out. From the brutal injury news that shocked the entire fan base to the looming uncertainty about what this team will even look like next season. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. First and foremost, we have to talk about the injuries because they're the elephant in the room. This season didn't end the way Celtics fans hoped. We were supposed to be gearing up for another deep playoff run, maybe even defending a title. But instead, we're staring down a harsh reality. Jason Tatum, the face of the franchise, suffered a torn Achilles in Game 4 against the Knicks. Yeah, you heard that right. The guy who barely ever misses games, who's built his name on consistency and elite level play, went down with one of the most devastating injuries an athlete can face. That moment in the Garden when he hit the deck, man, it just took the air out of the entire building. Now, Brad Stevens didn't sugarcoat it. He knows this is a serious blow. But if there's a silver lining, and I know that's hard to say right now, it's how quickly and efficiently the team responded. According to Brad, they were lucky to have world-renowned surgeon Dr. Martin Ali just 15 minutes away from the arena that night. The moment Tatum got out of the MRI, it was go time. Less than 12 hours after the injury, he was already in surgery. Think about that. In the span of half a day, they went from disaster to action. That kind of immediate medical response isn't just rare. It's game-changing when it comes to long-term recovery. Brad said it himself, as bad as that night was, it couldn't have been handled any better. And for those of you wondering what kind of comeback we're talking about, Brad dropped a pretty hopeful comparison. Jason Tatum is reportedly using Kevin Durant's return from a torn Achilles as a sort of blueprint. We all remember when KD went down in 2019, people said he'd never be the same. They doubted whether he could still be elite. And what did he do? He came back and kept playing at an MVP level. Sure, he might have lost a little bit of his explosiveness, but his game evolved. He leaned more on his jumper, used his IQ, and proved everybody wrong. That's the hope for Tatum. He's only 27, still got plenty of gas in the tank, and if anyone's got the mindset and discipline to attack rehab head-on, it's him. But here's where it gets even more wild. Jason's not the only one who's been dealing with something serious. Turns out Jaylen Brown, the other half of Boston's superstar duo, played the entire postseason with a partially torn meniscus. Let that sink in. While everyone was out here questioning his production, wondering why he wasn't as explosive or dominant as usual, the dude was out there battling through a significant knee injury, and nobody outside the team even knew about it until the season was already over. Say what you want about his play, but that's the definition of a warrior. Brad made it clear that Jaylen didn't just push through it recklessly. He consulted with team doctors, got second opinions, did everything by the book. And the good news? No surgery needed. According to Brad, the knee is structurally sound. Jaylen just needs rest and time away from the court. If all goes according to plan, he'll be fully ready for the start of next season, which, let's be honest, is going to be all about him. With Tatum sidelined for what looks like the entire year, this team is officially Jaylen Brown's. It's his moment, his time to lead. And if you followed his career, you know he's always wanted that responsibility. Now it's here. Brad didn't leave any room for speculation either. There was no talk about shopping Jaylen or testing the trade market. Everything he said pointed toward a full commitment to keeping Brown in Boston. He even doubled down on it, saying anytime you've got Jaylen or Jason or even just one of them on the court, you've got a real shot. That's a pretty loud endorsement from a guy who doesn't usually waste words. So for now, forget all the trade rumors and I'll split the Jays debates. The Celtics are rolling with Jaylen as their guy, at least through this next chapter. And let's not forget Kristaps Porzingis. His situation has been one giant mystery ever since March. The guy was playing some of the best basketball of his career earlier in the season. And then out of nowhere, he gets hit with this strange illness. It wasn't just a flu or some cold. He could shake off. According to Brad, it was post-viral symptoms, a lingering effect of something that just wouldn't go away. It came back during the playoffs too, and pretty much zapped his energy and effectiveness on the court. You could see it. He wasn't moving the same, wasn't as confident. It's hard to watch a guy that talented struggle to be himself out. There, Brad said no one was more frustrated than Kristaps himself. And while the Celtics are hopeful he'll be back to full strength, there's a good chance his time in Boston might be coming to an end. Look, it's no secret that the Celtics are in cap trouble. They're way over the second apron, and the league's new collective bargaining agreement doesn't play around when it comes to penalties. Porzingis is on an expiring deal worth over $30 million. That's the kind of contract that usually gets moved when a team is trying to reset the books. Add in the fact that he's already planning to play for Latvia this summer in Eurobasket, and you've got all the ingredients for a possible goodbye. But he's not the only one who might be on the move. You've also got Drew Holiday in the same boat, another high-impact veteran on a big contract. And let's be real, if the front office decides this next season is going to be more about survival and development than contention, then it makes sense to explore those options. Brad didn't get into specifics about any of that, but he hinted that the team is going to take a long, hard look at the financial side of things before making any major moves. That's what this offseason is going to be all about. Decisions, sacrifice, and trying to thread the needle between staying competitive and building toward a new title window. Injuries might have derailed this run, but this front office has shown time and time again they know how to pivot. Think about it. Brad Stevens was the guy who turned a late first rounder and some role players into Derek White, who's now one of the most underrated two-way guards in the league. He went and snatched Drew Holiday out of Portland when other teams hesitated. He got Porzingis at a bargain when Washington was basically giving him away. These weren't obvious no-brainer moves. These were calculated swings that paid off big time. So yeah, this next chapter is going to be tricky, but if anyone can keep this ship steady, it's Brad. And that's just the first half of everything that came out of this press conference. We haven't even gotten to what Brad had to say about Joe Mazzulla's job status, the Celtics draft plans, or how the team's preparing for what could be a full season without its superstar. The Celtics are entering uncharted territory, and the fan base is hungry for answers. But for now, one thing is clear. The path forward is going to require patience, creativity, and a whole lot of belief in the people running the show. Now, let's shift gears a bit. One of the most debated topics among Celtics fans all season long has been Joe Mazzulla. Is he the right guy to lead this team? Can he manage games under pressure? Should someone with more experience be at the helm? It's the kind of question that's followed Joe since day one. And honestly, the criticism hasn't always been fair. Yes, there were moments in the playoffs, especially during that brutal Knicks series, where the timeouts were late, the rotations fell off, and the execution down the stretch raised eyebrows. But Brad Stevens made his stance very clear. Joe Mazzulla isn't going anywhere. In his presser, Brad praised Joe's growth, his leadership, and the way he's gotten buy-in from the locker room. That last part is huge. It's one thing for a front office to support a coach, but when the players go to bat for him, that's what really matters. And according to Brad, that's exactly what's happening. From Jason Tatum to Jaylen Brown, Derek White to Al Horford, this team has rallied behind Joe. They believe in his approach. They respect his intensity. They trust the system he's put in place. That matters, especially in a league where locker rooms can fall apart quickly. When leadership feels shaky, think about where this team was 2 years ago. They had just come off a finals loss. People questioned the core. The coaching staff was in flux and it felt like the window might be closing. Joe stepped in under chaotic circumstances. No training camp, no real prep time, and led the team to a title. You can argue all day about how much credit he deserves, but at the end of the day, banners hang forever. And if he's earned the trust of Brad Stevens and the locker room, then that's going to carry a lot more weight than a few Twitter hot takes. Now, when it comes to the future, especially the draft, Brad's comments were a little more guarded. And who can blame him? With the Celtics projected to pick near the bottom of the first round, there's not a ton of excitement around what they might be able to get. But one name did come up, and it had the fan base buzzing. Cooper Flagg. The kid from Maine is a walking highlight reel and has serious star potential. The cost to move up for someone like Flagg would be astronomical. We're talking multiple first-rounders, core players, maybe even Jaylen Brown, and there's no indication that teams at the top of the draft are even open for business. The Mavericks. sitting on that number one pick, have reportedly already decided to keep it. So while the idea of pairing Flag with a healthy Tatum in a few years sounds amazing, it's just not realistic right now. Sometimes you have to admire a prospect from afar and focus on what's actually within reach. And what is within reach? Financial clarity. That's the real storm cloud hanging over Boston this summer, with Tatum's max contract still counting. Against the books while he recovers, the Celtics are deep into the second apron, and the luxury tax penalties are no joke. Brad didn't give away the game plan, but he acknowledged the obvious. This roster, as currently constructed, is not sustainable under the new CBA. Changes are coming, some painful ones. Guys like Porzingis and Drew Holiday are the most obvious. Trade chips. Both are on expiring deals worth over $30 million. Moving either or both could help Boston reset financially while opening up minutes for younger guys like Peyton Pritchard or even recent draft picks still waiting for a real shot. There are also cheaper pieces like Sam Hauser, whose $10 million deal becomes a lot more valuable when you factor in luxury tax math. Expect his name to float around in trade talks too. Brad said the team is going to evaluate everything. No decisions will be made until they've all had time to step back, sleep on it, meet with the key voices in the room, and map out a clear strategy. But one thing he made clear is that the North Star of this franchise remains the same. Build a championship contender. If that means biting the bullet next year, treating it as a gap season while Tatum recovers, then so be it. If it means trimming salary now to be more aggressive in 2026, they'll do it. The window hasn't closed. It's just shifting, and honestly, that's the part that hurts the most for fans. We wanted this core to stick around for years. We dreamed of Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, and Holiday running it back again and again. But the CBA wasn't built for that. The penalties are too steep, the flexibility is too limited, and the Celtics are now forced to make business decisions that fans won't like. Still, if there's one reason to stay optimistic, it's Brad Stevens himself. The guy has made bold, often unpopular moves before, and more often than not, he's come out on top. This offseason won't be about splashy headlines or blockbuster trades. It'll be about discipline, about making the tough choices that set Boston up for long-term success. And while the 2025 season might not include a deep playoff run or even a finals appearance, it could be the foundation for another run at greatness in 2026 and beyond. The Celtics aren't done. They're just regrouping. And if the front office plays its cards right, that regroup could lead to another banner sooner than we think. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a stunning development that has sent shockwaves through the basketball world, NBA superstar Nikola Jokic has reportedly turned down a multi-million-dollar contract offer to join the Boston Celtics. This rumor, which has been circulating in sports circles, suggests that the reigning MVP and one of the most dominant players in the league is ready to make a seismic shift in his career by embracing a new challenge in Boston. Nikola Jokic, often hailed as one of the most versatile and skilled big men in the NBA, has been the cornerstone of the Denver Nuggets for several years. Known for his exceptional passing ability, scoring prowess, and basketball IQ, Jokic has redefined the center position and led the Nuggets deep into the playoffs consistently. His decision to reject a lucrative deal elsewhere in favor of joining the Celtics signals a bold move that could reshape the landscape of the Eastern Conference. The Boston Celtics, a franchise with a storied history and a passionate fan base, have been eager to elevate their status as championship contenders. Adding Jokic to their roster would not only bolster their front court but also bring a unique skill set that complements their current stars. With a potent mix of veteran leadership and young talent, the Celtics appear poised to make a serious title push, and Jokic's potential arrival could be the missing piece. Although the specifics of the contract negotiations remain under wraps, insiders suggest that the offer from the Celtics was competitive but not the most financially generous on the table. Yet, Jokic's preference to join Boston underscores a desire to compete for championships and be part of a winning culture rather than simply maximizing earnings. This move highlights the player's strategic career mindset and commitment to legacy building over short-term financial gain. Fans and analysts alike are abuzz with speculation about how Jokic will fit into the Celtics system. His unique ability to orchestrate the offense from the center position, combined with his scoring versatility, makes him a perfect complement to the Celtics' dynamic guards and wings. Moreover, his presence on the court is expected to relieve pressure on other players and open up new offensive opportunities. The implications of this potential signing go beyond just one team. It signals a shift in power dynamics within the NBA, where player decisions based on competitive aspirations can outweigh even the most lucrative financial deals. Jokic's rumored choice to join the Celtics sends a clear message to the league about the growing appeal of established contenders and the importance of team chemistry and championship prospects. As the basketball community awaits official confirmation, the rumor alone has ignited excitement and debate among fans, pundits, and rivals. If Jokic officially commits to the Celtics, the upcoming NBA seasons promise thrilling matchups, intense rivalries, and a compelling narrative centered around one of the game's brightest stars seeking new glory in Boston. In conclusion, Nikola Jokic's rumored refusal of millions to say yes to the Boston Celtics is more than just a headline. It's a potential game changer in the NBA's evolving landscape. His decision embodies the modern athlete's pursuit of legacy, team success, and personal fulfillment, setting the stage for an electrifying chapter in professional basketball. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.